What is going on, everybody? Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 4. We are flying through these episodes. We only have 3 episodes after this for this season. I feel like we waited for so long and it's almost over. I can't believe we're already a month in worth of episodes. I'm going to go ahead and watch this as it's airing on TV. I've been trying to watch it right at 9 o'clock with on the HBO Go website, but if the HBO Go website gets flooded at 9 o'clock with hundreds of thousands of people trying to watch it that don't have like HBO on TVs, and it gets laggy and it'll stop and I have to restart it. I mean, you guys clearly don't see that because I can edit it, but it ruins like the viewing experience for me. Like in the middle of when Euron attacked the Greyjoy fleet, like it would stop, so I'd miss the fight. Fight would start, and I'm just not going to deal with that. So the episode is going to be an hour later than it usually is uploaded. Hopefully it'll be okay because I won't be able to watch it all the way through. And what was it? This episode and next week's episodes were leaked online. Supposedly this isn't the first time this has happened. I didn't watch Game of Thrones till late, but supposedly all of Season 5 got leaked back in the day. But supposedly this episode has been leaked. I kind of heard about it later in the week, like Thursday, Friday, but I didn't go out and find it. So I wanted to watch it in HD with everybody else. So it should be a good episode. Let me know if you went ahead and you couldn't hold out and you watched the leaked version. Supposedly it was like real shitty and not HD and wasn't really worth picking up. A lot of people just said wait and watch it. I haven't heard any spoilers other than people are saying this might be a top 5, top 3 all-time Game of Thrones episode. I don't know. We got Bran last week. I'm hoping maybe by this episode or next episode, him and Jon talk. You guys really need to start planning some things, strategizing things. Jon finds out who he really is and all that kind of stuff. And the pieces are moving. Dany is now 0 for 2 on fights. Well, the Greyjoy wasn't really a fight. They just got kind of ambushed. But she is 0 for 2. So we'll see what happens with that. We lost. Tyrells are pretty much no more. The Dornish are pretty much no more as far as like continuing on their line of family succession. So we'll see how that goes. Gonna go ahead and start this. If you see me, guys, if you see me looking over here, just know that I'm taking down notes for the episode. So let's go ahead and unmute this and get this going.
This is for you.
Oh.
The last man who wielded it meant to cut your throat, but your mother fought him off.
Bran knows who gave
Another dagger.
that sword.
One that took her life. I would have stopped that dagger with my own heart, if I could have.
I want him to really creep out Littlefinger
Wasn't
right
there
here.
for her when she needed me most.
Say something really like in depth
But I am here for her now.
that he can't even respond to.
To do what she would have done. To protect our children. Anything I can do for you, Brandon. You need only ask.
Do you know who this belonged to?
No.
Bran does. Do you know
The
who?
very question was what started the War of the Five Kings. In a way, that dagger made you what you are today.
Do you know
Forced from
who
your home.
betrayed my
Driven into the
father?
wilds beyond the wall. I imagine you've seen things most men wouldn't believe.
Killed Lady Arryn? All these kind of things? That's how she gets
Go
the
through
knife.
all of that and make your way home again only to find such chaos in the world. I can only imagine.
Chaos is a ladder.
Oh, God. Exactly, something like that.
I'm sorry to have disturbed you, Lord Stark.
I'm not Old Stark.
What's that?
Maester Welkin built it for me, so I can move around more easily.
It's a very good idea.
You're leaving?
I don't want to leave you, but when they come, I need to be with my family. You're safe. You're as safe as anyone can be now. You don't need me anymore.
I don't.
Aw, Mira.
That's all you've got to say.
Thank you
Thank you.
for helping me.
My brother died for you. Hodor and Summer died for you. I almost died for you. Bran,
I'm not really. Not anymore. I remember what it felt like to be Bran and Stark. But I remember so much else now.
Bran is gone,
you
man.
died in that cave.
Bran is no more. She said it. He died in that cave. After that, everything just kind of washed over. Oh, shit.
We told her to wait. We were standing right next to her, and
when we turned around, she'd gone, my lady. She was nothing, some Winterfell girl.
he comes in asking for Sir Roderick
Yeah.
and Mr. Lewin.
Lewin, yeah. And don't trouble yourself over her, my lady. We'll find her.
You don't have to. You know where she is.
Oh, wow. And that's where they meet, too? That's just... Oh, man. The feels are strong. I'm sweating from this reunion right now. Are they going to
I have
embrace...
to call you Lady Stark now.
Yes.
It's so dark I can't see. Oh, no. Now I want to see them and Bran together. And then Jon. And I really want to see Jon and Arya together.
Shouldn't have run.
I saw you at the crossroads.
You saw me?
I see quite a lot now.
Bran has visions.
I thought you might go to King's Landing.
So did I.
Why would you go back there?
To kill the queen.
Cersei's on her list of names.
Wow. Does Sansa actually, like, believe Bran and what he's talking about
Who
now?
else is on your list?
And
I can go and find the Master of Arms to you, my lady.
he didn't beat the Hound. You did. I want to train with you. You swore to serve both my mother's daughters, didn't you?
What is her...
Podrick?
I need to see, like, what...
You can't use that, my lady. It's too small.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
won't cut you. Don't worry.
I'll try not to.
What does the effectiveness of that little dagger do? I feel like... She's a water dancer. Oh, shit. That's just like what Syrio talked about. You're not supposed to be swinging and hacking and... Wow. But, just like the Hound said, Syrio lost because he didn't have fucking armor. Okay. Alright. Okay, that might have been a little too far. Sansa's like, what have I been doing this whole time? See what I'm saying? But she might not be as quick if she has a big brooding sword. Wow. Wow.
Who taught you how to do that?
No one.
Theon and Jon. Oh shit. Does Jon know about Theon's betrayal and killing Bran and all that? Oh my god, we're getting so many reunions I can't even stomach. Does he know about Theon betraying and killing Rickon and Bran and taking Winterfell? And I figure he would.
Jon? Didn't know you were here.
Are we talking to Reek right now, or are we talking to Theon? You better punch him in the face.
Sansa,
Just one time.
is she alright?
What you did for her is the only reason I'm not killing you.
Exactly. Thank you. Okay, he does know.
We heard your uncle attacked your fleet. We thought you were dead.
I should be.
Your sister?
Euron has her.
Came to ask the Queen to help me get her back.
The Queen is gone.
Where did she go?
Oh, oh. I think that was Bronn, and I don't think either of them got hit. But if that armor's so heavy, they're gonna sink. And that's how it ends. It wasn't even an hour long. Oh my god. Let me turn this off because I can't even. We don't watch previews this year, but hold on, I'm sweating. I'm gonna have to edit this. I need some time to cool down. Alright, so let's just talk about. I mean, the episode was so good because we got so many reunions that episode. Arya Sansa, Arya Bran, Arya Brienne. If you would have just ended it like after all that reunion and Brienne and Arya fighting, that episode would have been damn good. But then to just throw the flipping war scene on the back end of that. So let's talk about the stuff in the beginning and then spend the last hour talking about the fight. What do I even have down here? The gold being transported. I thought something like that was going to happen this episode, but I don't know Sam's father's name. We'll just say Lord Tarly. He said that all the gold was delivered successfully through the gates of King's Landing. So it looks like the Iron Bank is going to get what they were promised. And then speaking of the Iron Bank, let me cross this out. They said that they would back Cersei. She has the money and they want to invest in something that's going to be promising and fruitful for them. Does the Iron Bank employ soldiers? I know they employ like funding for wars, but do they employ soldiers? I don't know what they like. What do you give her that she can use? Like money, financial backing, or I don't know how that works. But he said that he was down after the gold was delivered. So right after that, like I said, we got so many. We got Arya Sansa, Arya Bran, Arya Brienne, Bran Littlefinger. I don't think Bran and Littlefinger ever met, so I don't think that's a reunion. We did get an Arya Littlefinger reunion. They saw each other. They didn't speak, though. Podrick and Arya, don't really know if you count that as a reunion. They saw each other, but it's not like they really built a relationship. Theon and Jon was... I had the same feeling as Jon did. And Sansa said this, too. When Theon was too scared to go all the way to the wall with Sansa, he felt that Jon would kill him. And Sansa said, after all that he's done for her, Jon wouldn't do that. And he said that the only reason he's not killing Theon right there was because of what he did for Sansa. I thought that was pretty great. And then Theon also said that he's coming back to get help to rescue Yara. So it looks like we're going to get another converging of Theon. I don't know who Theon goes with. Does he swoop up and get the Dornish to go fight him. I don't think they're going to take the Dothraki. Do they get the Unsullied? I don't know, but it looks like we're going to get a rescue arc, episode 10 minutes somewhere where they've got to try to get her back at some point. What else do we have written down here? I was wanting, remember last episode when Sansa didn't understand what the three-eyed raven meant. Bran was like, I see everything, past, present, future, I know everything. Sansa couldn't grasp what he was saying until he said that statement of, you look so beautiful on the night you got married and raped. It's like no one else would know that besides Ramsay, who's dead, Sansa, and Theon. So that kind of like confirmed it in Sansa's head, like, okay, Bran's on some trippy shit right now. And when Bran said, what did Littlefinger say? Something along the lines of, everything's been in chaos, or I'm sure you've seen a lot of chaos, something like that. And when Bran looked him dead in the face and said, chaos is a ladder, the look on my face, the look on Littlefinger's face, it's like, that was pretty good right there. I don't think it's been explained to Littlefinger that Bran is having visions yet. I think he's just a regular cripple that's been returned. But Littlefinger was trying to plant the seed, like, let me give you this present, this dagger, let me manipulate you and get in your head. That's probably the worst person for Littlefinger to go up against, because Bran sees everything, he knows everything. The same way Littlefinger is like, you plan through every scenario in your head, every step, every possible outcome, even when it hasn't even happened. So when it does happen, you've already planned for it. That's like the definition of what Bran has access to, and it's pretty crazy. What else do we have? And then what everyone's been saying about Bran, like, Mira said Bran died in that cave. After everything Mira did for Bran, she transported him so far by herself. Her brother died for him. Hodor died. We haven't seen Bran. I mean, we really haven't gotten Bran-focused episodes or, like, snippets since the cave and his interaction with the three-eyed raven. All we've seen, and after he spoke with Benjen. After that, the Benjen, what was that, right? What happened with Benjen? Was that when he saw the Tower of... Ever since then, Bran has been completely, like, just blanked, no emotion. I'm the three-eyed raven. That's it. I'm not a Stark, this whole kind of thing. And Mira said he died in that cave, and he did. After everything Mira did, as she said, Jojen died for him. Hodor died. And he wasn't even going to say bye or thank you to Mira. He was just going to say that was it. And it was pretty sad to see, but, I mean, what are you going to do? The Sansa and Arya reunion was so good to see because they didn't get over-emotional. But they were never like that even when season 1. They were always going back and forth like sisters that hated each other. Arya said at one point she was practicing to kill Sansa and Joffrey and all this kind of stuff. It was good to see them, but it looks like they've both elevated themselves. Arya on a physical level. I mean, you saw what she did to Brienne. That was pretty great. And then Sansa's elevated her, like, mental strategy and manipulation game. So the two of them together is going to be pretty great. And then, what I was saying before, Littlefinger had it easy with just Sansa. It's getting a little hard for him to persuade Sansa with Jon there because she's more likely to side with him, and Sansa's kind of coming on to Littlefinger's ways. But now that he's trying to get Sansa in power so he can kind of manipulate the North as he sees fit. So he's got to work on Sansa, but it's currently in the hands of Jon. Now there's Jon, Sansa, Arya, and Bran. It's like, what is Littlefinger's purpose to them besides providing the veil? Because you figure the four of them are going to be so close, making all the decisions. It's like, where does Littlefinger plant a seed? Because now there's 4 mines that you have to try to infiltrate, and really only 3, because there's nothing you can really say to Bran that he doesn't know. I wonder if he knows that dagger. I don't know if it's been stated in the movie, but correct me if I'm wrong. In the books, Joffrey is the one that gives that cutthroat, the assassin that tried to kill Bran. Joffrey is the one that gives him that dagger. And the person that Joffrey got that dagger from is Littlefinger. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. This is just stuff that I researched over and over. Littlefinger wrote a note or said something where kind of along the lines where I think Joffrey overheard it would be better if Bran died, he heard that from Robert's mouth, his father's mouth. And he wanted to impress Robert, King Robert, so he was like, oh, my father thinks it'll be better if Bran dies instead of living as a cripple. Let me be the one to have Bran killed so he can go on. And the one that kind of like helped push Joffrey to that point was Littlefinger. So I want to know if that's going to be brought up in the TV show, and if it's something that Bran already knows. He doesn't need it. He says he doesn't need it because he's a cripple. I wonder if he doesn't want it because he knows the significance of that. Should be pretty crazy. And I feel like Littlefinger is kind of feeling pressured now. Like he's running out of options here. There's too many Starks for him to manipulate at one time. I thought Dany was going to have a come to Jesus moment, like, wow, these carvings right here on my homeland. You know what, John? I believe you. I'll go with you. And then she had to throw in the after you bend the knee thing. And then she kind of slid in there. I mentioned this in my reaction. When Varys said the same thing to Ned, when Ned was locked in the Red Keep, and Sansa was kind of out there dealing with Joffrey and the Queen by herself and all this kind of stuff, and Ned was stubborn. He's like, I'm not going to sacrifice my honor and admit something that's a lie because I know Joffrey isn't the true king. But Varys kind of approached and said, why not just lie for the sake of your daughter? Save her life. Don't worry about your life and what your honor is going to be like. What about Sansa's life in the future? Granted, Sansa's life still ended up shitty, but nobody thought that Ned was going to be beheaded. We thought that Joffrey would allow him to go to Castle Black and all that kind of stuff. And that leads back to, again, I don't know if it's been stated in the show, but it seems like it was Littlefinger who got in Joffrey's ear that said, regardless if Ned bends the knee and swears loyalty to you and admits that you're king or not, you got to behead him anyway. We can't let treasoners walk around here. And so Bran knows that as well, but now we're getting off track into theories and things. I just thought it was the same thing when Varys was like, do it for your daughter's sake and your family's sake. And Dany was like, don't bend the knee for me, bend it to save your people. Like, they'll follow you if you do it. I'm like, Dany, you got to let that thing go. What else do we have here? I don't know if it was just a little snark comment because it was in the moment, when Dany was questioning Tyrion's loyalty because they keep losing to Lannisters right now. I mean, one was Euron, who is employed by the Lannisters, and then they captured Castle Rock, but they lost the Reach, and they lost the Dorne. I feel like Dany's under the impression that Tyrion might be doing this on purpose. I'm done listening to him. I'm going to be a dragon, like Lady Olenna said. I don't think it's anything serious. But then we went from that questioning. We had the Dany question Tyrion, and then we had the Jon and Davos trying to kind of, I don't know if they were doing it on purpose or if it was just made to seem that way in the show, but they were kind of digging at Miss Sunday. They're like, oh, so you really think you're free, or you just serve somebody else right now? Would she really let you leave if you woke up one morning and said you wanted to go back? I don't know if they were trying to dig in deeper what kind of person Dany is, or if they were trying to like drive a wedge. It was kind of hard to tell. I wasn't really able to tell. And then Jon's words of wisdom, where he told Dany, your people follow you because they believe in something different. If you just hop on a dragon and start burning castles and people down, you're not anything better than they've already had. So she's not going to go straight to King's Landing and start burning things down, which is good. I'm trying to think if there's any thing again. Yeah, planting seeds against Dany with the Missandei. Theon and Jon we already talked about. He does know everything. And now everything, I didn't even write anything down during that whole battle sequence because like you couldn't miss anything. There wasn't a dialogue or a scene cut. But it looks like regular arrows, are like regular spearheads, are just non-effective. They bounced off Drogon's hide. It wasn't even funny. A lot of people in the previews, like in the season trailer previews before the season started, didn't think that was Drogon. They thought that was another dragon, Rhaegal or Viserion, and that he was going to die in that fight. But it was Drogon. It's the only one we've ever seen her ride. I was surprised she took him out. The whole Dothraki scene was crazy because we've never seen them in straight up combat before, have we? We have seen them when they attacked the Temple of Meereen, but they were fighting against Sons of the Harpy, and it's not like the Sons of the Harpy are an army. They're maybe just a small group, so that was a complete washing. But to see them standing on top of the horseback crouch, just dotting arrows and jumping off and taking people out, when that Dothraki swooped in and took out Bronn's horse's leg. That's something that like we would think Bronn would do to a regular knight. And when Tyrion showed up and said, "Your fighters are shit," yeah, I mean, granted they were outnumbered and getting burned, but I mean they were standing no chance. This is what King Robert talked about when him and Ned were traveling on the King's Road back to King's Landing. If the Dothraki reach land, they're gonna armies in Westeros are gonna get mowed over. They stand no chance in like hand-to-hand combat. And like the Dothraki combat skills have been so built up as we've been going. Even when Tyrion saved Jorah from just being like executed because he was so old, when they're being sold to the fighting pits, Tyrion helped promote Jorah by saying he's beaten a Dothraki in single combat, and that kind of like took people by surprise. And King Robert has built up the Dothraki, and even Cersei was building up the Dothraki, and when they came in there and just wiped them out, it was pretty great. But the straight Dany scenes of just straight burning people to the ground was great. She's just taking out lines of infantry, and Bronn telling Jaime to get out of there and leave. Clearly that black arrow, I'm going to call it a black arrow. It's the same thing that was in The Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm going to call it a black arrow. It definitely pierced. I don't know if you hit that in the head, dragon's going down. Clear, like, not going down like, oh, it's injured. Like, the dragon's going to be dead. You connect a headshot. That kind of hit, like, in the upper, I guess if we're calling dragon a shoulder or chest. It didn't spiral to the ground and crash and unable to move and slowly die, but it definitely felt it. But it was still able to fight after that. I mean, it destroyed that whole Qyburn machine-built thing with its tail out of force. It was able to blow fire on it again. It was able to protect Dany, so it still had some fight left. I don't know how injured it's going to be. I don't know what the recovery time is for dragons to heal, but it definitely felt it. But it looks like it's going to take multiple connections for that to hit. Now, that's Drogon, though. The other ones are smaller. If you get one of those to Rhaegal or Viserion, that could be it for one of them. Not sure. And just the whole battle was good as well. It looks like Tyrion still has feelings for Jaime. And I mean, he should. They've been through a lot together. He set him free. I think Jaime, remember when at the beginning of the episode, Bronn was talking about, you just took a castle, you have a wagon full of gold. I've never seen anybody this sad. I feel like Jaime was sad because he knows that Tyrion really didn't kill Joffrey. And I mean, but they already kind of knew that. So I'm not trying to, I wonder why Jaime was feeling so down and depressed right there. I'm not quite sure. And then just the whole battle sequence was amazing as well. I'm probably going to have to cut this up into two because you need 10 minutes of that whole fight scene. I've never uploaded 2 episodes of Game of Thrones, like of reacting to one episode, but that was so damn good. It's kind of hard to, I don't even know what the episode title was. I don't know if it's titled like a Battle of the Bastards episode or Blackwater kind of thing title, but it was crazy. I pretty much have no points to cover. That was one of the, I mean, if you saw this episode before it came out, because like I said in the beginning, this episode was leaked this week, so it's been out for a couple days, maybe a week now, and people were saying it is top 3, top 5, or the top Game of Thrones episode ever. I'm gonna have time to, I really got to marinate and look back on episodes, but it's easily top 5 for sure, because it wasn't just, there's some episodes that like there's just a battle at the last 10 minutes and you're like, that saved the episode. Besides that was a pretty slow episode. That whole episode with the reunions we got were great, and that end battle scene was a solid 15 minutes, even though that episode was shorter than an hour. Great episode. If we're counting on a scale of 10, I'm saying 9.5. Like, I'm not just prisoner of the moment fanboying. That was a great episode. I'm going to split this up into 2. I'm probably going to upload the battle scene tonight and then upload the episode reaction tomorrow. Let me know what you guys think of the episode. I'm speechless. I got to go ahead and record the episode now. It was great. Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 4 was definitely one of those episodes that like you go and search for. You want to see reactions to, and yeah. That's best episode of the season so far, for sure. Not even closer debate. I think the only real reunion we have left is going to be Jon and Arya. That's the only episode we're going to have left. Oh, and the only thing I didn't cover was the Arya and Brienne fight scene was great. She looked exactly like a water dancer. Do you remember when Jorah was fighting in the fighting pits, and he was just getting dotted up by that water dancer, that Bravosi water dancer? He was getting sliced here, sliced in the face. Like, he couldn't. He's a trained Westerosi knight, but he could not keep up with the quickness and the agility. And he's getting dabbed here, death by 1,000 strokes. And the only reason Jorah didn't die right there is because the Bravosi got stabbed in the back. Aya would have killed Brienne there multiple times over. But again, I feel like it's good one-on-one. I feel like Aya is good one-on-one. If she's in a chaotic battle scene, I guess you could really say that for anybody. I mean, if Jaime ended up in a chaotic battle scene when he had two hands, if he's got multiple people coming at him, I don't think it would matter. I don't think it mattered if you're Bravosi, that maybe if you're Arthur Dayne, that's about it. I was very impressed by Aya's skills. And when Brienne asked her where she learned that from, and she said no one, that was pretty great. I don't know if Brienne smiled because I didn't tell her. I don't think Brienne would know what no one means, but it was pretty great. And having Sansa and Littlefinger watch was good. The episode was great. I'm going on for too long. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode. Definitely want to talk about it in the comments. Like, share, favorite, subscribe. And as always,